everyone. I'm back, and we are going through the digestive system. I'm Elisa, and this time we're going to start going over the general anatomy. I have a few of these videos. Okay, digestive system has two main subdivisions that you need to know about. First is the digestive tract, right? So that's like the path that all the food is going to follow into and then out of the body. And then we also have what we refer to as the accessory organs, and they generally are going to do accessory functions, like helper type functions, like making or secreting enzymes, modulating pH, and all that good stuff. That main digestive tract we call the alimentary canal. It's kind of long, right? So it's actually 30 feet long in an adult human. It's muscular, some different types of muscles, different layers of muscles we'll look at later, and it extends from mouth to anus, and it includes the pharynx, the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, as well as the large intestine. It's also referred to as the gastrointestinal tract when we get to just the stomach and the intestines exclusively. So some of the accessory organs to note will be those like our big crushers, the teeth, our tongue, salivary glands, liver, gallbladder, as well as the pancreas itself. Here is what we're looking at. So they used to say, and they still say, much of man is still a worm. And that is very true when we look at the digestive system. And now it's compacted, um, for sure, but it's the same basic body plan. It's very old. So food enters the mouth through the oral cavity, where they will meet the tongue and the teeth, where we have mastication, which means the chewing up and the cutting of food using the mouth and the teeth and all that good stuff. Several glands, including sublingual, submandibular gland, and the parotid gland, are going to help to produce different enzymes. You're going to begin chemically breaking down that food at that point. The bolus of food now is what we're calling the bolus of food, starts traveling down the pharynx through the esophagus, all the way down through the diaphragm into the top part of the stomach, right? So the stomach is going to further churn and crush that food as well as start mixing in with enzymes and pH modifiers to help break it down again more, not only at the mechanical level, but at the chemical level as well. Different enzymes, which we'll look at more closely, are secreted by the pancreas as well as liver/gallbladder. They work in unison, those two. Those are going to be poured in right about this stage, transitional stage, also to the small intestine, and those are going to do a lot in terms of breaking down, say, specific things like fats or specific things like sugars, right? Um, and they also are going to change the color of the food bolus as well. So we can get into how that can tell us a little bit more about issues with the digestive system in a bit in a future lecture. Right. So the next part is going to be going through the parts of if you can see right here, this is the small intestine, of which there are a few different parts, which we'll get into in a bit. So there are divisions. After it is processed, absorbed, churned, and kind of just compacted, it finally empties out into the large intestine, right? And over here we have the appendix, which we only recently found out is likely in existence, not because it's vestigial, meaning like an organ that no longer serves an evolutionary purpose, but it actually is very evolutionarily conserved. It houses a little microbiome in case of, say, diarrhea, uh, or microflora that is invasive in the digestive tract. So that would be able to like kind of reseed the area. So that's kind of a neat thing we know about that now. The large intestine is going to go up, transverse, and then descend all the way out into the rectum, the anal canal, and finally anus. And that is how we move food through the digestive tract in a nutshell. So it's an open environment at both ends, meaning like especially we are going to be exposing this part of our body directly to microbes, to chemicals, all sorts of different things. And so it's not a sterile environment. Most material has not entered the body tissues yet. It is considered to be external to the body until it is absorbed, right? So, like, even though it is in this, you might have a food bolus in the center of your small intestine, it's still really considered to be on the external part of your body, right? Until, like, it has been, again, absorbed. So in a very strict sense, defecated food residue was never in the body, right? It was just passing through, as they say. Okay. Most of the digestive tract follows a basic structural plan with the rest of it, and it consists of layers, which we'll show you in a graphic in a bit. The mucosa secreting mucus, as you could imagine, which is consisting of epithelium as well as lamina propria, right? So that's a initial layer where everything kind of sticks to, as well as a muscle layer, which is going to help move things down and around and through. We have a submucosa, a stronger muscle layer, muscularis externa on the outside and inside. So there's these like layers and they go are kind of different directions, and that's going to help with as we kind of move and churn food right through peristalsis. There's also always, as always, the serosa, areolar tissue, mesothelium connecting, cushioning the area, protecting it. The mucosa is consistent of a mucous membrane that's going to be lining the lumen of the alimentary canal, and basically it's going to help let food slide through without tearing or destroying the body. It can also contain enzymes and some other stuff like that. The inner epithelium, so the inside part, is generally going to be columnar for most of the digestive tract, and that's largely because it does things like secrete, absorb, all that good stuff. Stratified squamous is going to be found generally in areas where we're high abrasive areas, right? So mouth, esophagus, as well as the anal canal. Lamina propria is the loose connective tissue layer. The muscularis mucosa is going to be a smooth muscle layer. It's kind of small. And so what it does is it allows for kind of, instead of just a flat surface, we have these like grooves and pits. And that does a few things, some which acts at the immune system, but also this adds surface area to the alimentary canal so we can absorb those nutrients or water and all that good stuff. It just gives us more direct contact with that food. Also, we have talked about this earlier, the mucosa associated lymphatic tissue, also known as the MALT. And this is directly interacting with the lymphatic system and nodules, and it kind of helps keep an eye on everything because remember, it is technically an external part of the body. So we got to monitor that microbiome big time. Okay, so we're going to continue on a little bit more in the next video, but that should be a little bit to get you started. And I hope that was helpful, and I hope you have, oops, a great day.